Welcome to the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show, where we talk about food, fashion, finance, and foundations of life. We are live on KCAA Broadcasting Network, 10:50 a.m., following broadcasts in 102.3 FM and 106.5 FM. We are serving the world one household at a time. KCAA is affiliated with CNBC, NBC News, and NBC Sports.
Welcome back to the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Foundation segment with your host, peak performance coach, Kim Yeater. Happy Thanksgiving. This is a week that we get to ignite gratitude and move all the way into the new year. Take that gratitude with us. And did you know that when we're in gratitude, when we are in the gratefulness and speaking it out loud, it actually ignites every area of the brain. So today, our stand is that the lights are turned on and you are ignited. So you are in for another treat. Thank you so much for Mike Seymour, who just joined us. Our next guest up are two powerhouse brothers. We've got DeAngelo Singh and Mikey Romero. Let me tell you a little bit about both of them. So DeAngelo resides here in San Diego, California, and I got to tell you, I'm going to sum it up for you. From victim to victor, survivor to thriver. This is DeAngelo. He is a speaker, soon to be author, rapper, domestic violence speaker as well, and raised in a broken home, works with families, 20-year experience with at-risk youth gang programs. He's spoken at prisons and juvenile halls, ran an anger management, batters treatment program for 10 years, was on the Juvenile Justice Commission, and he is here with his brother, Michael Singh, Mikey Romero, hometown El Centro, California. This is a little brother with a big booming voice. He is an absolute artist and a survivor, a passion to worship God, and is working on his new album. And today we have the opportunity after the next commercial break, don't you go anywhere, because we are going to hear Nightmares. This is the song that DeAngelo and Mikey have created that is powerful. Backstory, I'm going to have you guys give it. But these guys are survivors. DeAngelo and his brother were survivors of their dad who murdered their mom. DeAngelo rescued the 5 children, and Mikey was one of the 5 children. So, DeAngelo, I'm going to start with you. First, it is an absolute honor. I just want to hug you guys. You guys are just warriors for truth. So I want you to tell me, what role has faith played from where you've come from, that moment at that home, that experience of rescuing your siblings, to right now? What role has faith played?
Kim, thank you for having us here. Blessing. Thank God, give God all the glory for this. It's been a long journey. Thinking back, it's definitely something. I mean, it was like a movie, just a nightmare, and so. Just that day, quickly, just being able to, I remember just it was an Easter morning Sunday, and it was, I was, throwing the newspaper, came back home, and I was 14, and my brothers and sisters were on the sofa. I had a baby sister in the room on the right-hand side. My mother's door was closed, and they were fighting. It's something I've heard many times. So I put the bike down, and I run to call the police, but I hear my mother scream. Never heard that before, scream my name. And so I run to the room, and I couldn't open the door. I pushed it in, and right when I did that, that's when I saw, what was out there, with blood, and it was just, it was horrible. And my brothers followed behind me. So as I was trying to take my little sister out, she was 3 months old. Michael and my other brother Johnny were right there by the bed watching the whole thing happen, and my other brother and sister behind me. So I just grabbed them and we ran out the house, and I didn't know what was going to happen if my dad was going to turn on us, but at least we got out of the house. We went next door, police was called, and the ambulance came and took my mother, and the police took my father, and it was really, really difficult time for us, because then an hour later we found out that she had passed away. 6 kids left motherless, fatherless, and not to forget a whole life of violence after day, and just so many things, so many things. So, but after that, it wasn't over yet. That was just the beginning of more things to come. Unfortunate events for my brothers and my sisters and for myself, and we ended up moving with my mom's sister, and well, they some cousins took us in, and Uncle Nat, and then we moved with my mom's sister about a year later, and they had 3 kids of their own. So there was 9 kids in one apartment.
Oh my gosh. So
Yeah.
how did you navigate through all of that? Here both of you just went through trauma. Okay. So let's go right to where there was kind of an awakening for you, DeAngelo. And I want to also talk about Mikey's awakening with his faith. Yeah. So where was that for you, that moment?
Well, I've been in church my whole life. I've known God my whole life, but I had a lot of pain too, and I think it was just all the loss in my life, all the unfortunate events, everything that was happening, all that stuff got me to the place where I had to learn some hard lessons, and I was able to land working with youth programs, working with anger management, all that stuff, and speaking. I didn't know that was going to be the beginning of my healing process. And as I did those things, I was helping others heal. God was healing me through that. And then that's where I began to realize I needed something more. And I realized my voice was going to be powerful, and that also that there were some things I really needed to change in myself. I really needed to let go.
So what I just heard from you, DeAngelo, is the power of community. Like, community was a part of your healing. Community was also where God ignited your faith, and that leads us right into family. Because family really is community as well.
Yes.
So what is it that family means to you in the midst? Because DeAngelo, I know your heart. And it's so important. You're so excited about all your family coming together.
Yes.
You're like, people need to know our story. People need to know our story so that they are set free, so that they are no longer captive, so that they can turn their pain into purpose.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about the power of family and community for you.
Oh, my God. Family is the most important thing to me. Not just my 2 kids, but my brothers and sisters, just being able to have that unity together. We are just very strong, united to this day, and it's just been about loyalty, loving, and when we get angry or somebody or with ourselves, we fix that, we forgive, and we move on, and it's just. It's something that I think the people out there, if you haven't talked to your brothers and sisters for a long time, man, you're losing that time. You're losing that. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
That's right,
It's
Mikey.
not.
Mikey, so good, DeAngelo. Mikey, come on, you're that brother he's talking about. He's talking about that love, that loyalty. So, Mikey, for you in that experience, here you were. You were how old? How old were you when that experience occurred?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me here.
Oh,
I
it's an
appreciate it. It's an honor. I was about 5 and a half, I believe.
5.5 years old. I got that.
5 and a half.
And so, for you, what role has faith got played for you as you've gone through this trauma?
Well, as a young age, I didn't understand what was going on because knowing that, everything just happened so fast, So the transition and everything going on, you just don't understand. So I think for me, with faith, it happened later on in life, where I met actually God in my life, So it was actually through forgiveness, through my dad, because for a long time I didn't want to forgive him,
Yeah.
And I was like, why would God do this if, he's God, like, why would he take away, somebody that you need, a figure in your life, both figures, mom and dad, why would you take that away from you? But I realized, like, sometimes things happen for reasons, and I believe that in reality that he wanted this to be something bigger than it was. So he wanted people to understand what forgiveness really means. And so when I forgave my dad, I thought, oh no, I'll forgive him. I forgive him. That's it,
Yeah.
And I'll just move on with my life. But he was like, no. He's like, I want you to write to him.
Oh.
So that was like, okay. I was like, well, what do you want me to write to him? So I wrote to him, and little did I know that when I was writing to him, I started to see him the way God saw him. He's like, if you can't forgive him, how can I forgive you? And that was hard with anybody that is going through unforgiveness. It's a hard thing. I get it. It's hard, but once you release that and you give that to God, all your struggles, all your grudges, everything just releases, falls away.
Gosh, you don't have to carry that
You don't.
burden and that big load anymore.
And it actually made me love him. I know it's hard to say that, and it's weird to say that.
Yeah.
People will say that's weird to love somebody who killed your mom.
I get it.
But the only way you can do that is through God.
Through God. Love.
Yeah.
Yeah, forgiveness to love. That's incredible. You have a single. You and DeAngelo have a single that's about to be launched. And we get to actually hear it today. It's called Nightmares. From victim to victor, from survivor to thriver. I mean, it's not a funny story, but we just give God the glory because we're talking forgiveness, we're talking love, we're talking faith, family, and foundation, mind, body, soul, wellness, transformation. We're going to talk mindset in just a bit, but we got to hear this single. So these guys have an amazing single coming up called Nightmares. Now, they also have Send Me, Blissing Forever, and The Name Jesus. But I want to talk a little bit about this single. And as you're putting your album together, like, what made you create, for what purpose did you create Nightmares?
Well, first of all, I was looking for, some music, and I came across this instrumental. The guy, producer, the instrumental guy he did was named Born Hero. For some reason, when I just heard it, I just came quick to me, the concept of the song, Nightmares. So I basically wrote it in a segment of what I went through right after when my mom passed away was the nightmares that was continually going on for, I would say maybe after that a good maybe 3 years or 4 years around there. And but these were not just nightmares. These were actually they were nightmares.
Yeah.
They were demonic, they were really demonic nightmares. So I would see things in my dreams that, it was the same exact dream that I would have. It was a portal that kept opening up, and this demon kept trying to grab me, But it was the same over and over dream that always was happening. So I believe that when I wrote this dream and I believe that when I wrote this song that was the way the devil was trying to get me. Was through through nightmares to discourage me and to, have lack of confidence in the future,
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to write this song to show people that, I did have a lot of nightmares, and it did affect me a lot when my mom passed away. And I just wanted to show people that, there's still hope after, these nightmares,
So powerful. This is so the beginning of just greatness of what God is unraveling. God gives us these creative outlets to fully express what's there, so we're no longer in bondage to fear. He says that there's no fear in love. Perfect love drives out fear, right? Yeah. And I remember, for me, I had become a single mom of 3, coming from domestic violence. Almost died in my 3rd pregnancy when I was 5 months pregnant. And it was in that process I had the opportunity to make a documentary called One Voice, Many Faces. And it was in the process of, I couldn't sleep at night. It just kept coming. And I wrote it, and then I shot it, and it was done at Warner Brothers, which is crazy. The doors opened up for me at Warner Brothers. But it was part of my healing process. No. Not only my healing process, but the healing of those that got to experience the documentary and that were even a part of it. So just like for you, Mikey and DeAngelo, this creative outlet is literally so healing for you and the lives it's going to touch. When our listeners hear this, guys, this is real stuff. It's so powerful. Their lives are going to be impacted. And most importantly, what I'm getting from these guys is there's hope. Yeah. There's forgiveness, there's love, there's hope. Now, you still wrestle with some of those nightmares. So after we listen to this, you guys, listen into this song. We're going to cue this song in just a second. And then when we come back, DeAngelo, we're going to talk to you too about the making of the song. And we're going to talk about what you're still journeying through in this process of healing. Let's play that song, Nightmares, Mikey Romero and DeAngelo Singh.
It's been a long time since you left me all alone and all afraid. It's not your fault that you couldn't stay longer in this cold and lonely place. Oh, how I wish I could see your face again and feel your warm embrace. What I would give just to call you when I'm feeling sick or had a bad day. I'm just alone in my thoughts, please don't mind me. Oh, I'm just alone in my thoughts, please don't mind me. Yeah. In nightmares I'm screaming, where are you? I need you here with me. I'm only 5 years old, how can I go back to sleep here all alone? How can a heart be without his first love? I know your heart breaks, but I'm okay. I know your heart breaks, but I'm okay.
Nightmares, I'll sleep at night. Toss and turn with the flashy lights. Flashbacks of 89. Just a kid, I was only 5. Sitting on my bed, all alone. Far from home, what I go wrong. Posture your life, change mine. Parents couldn't even save your life. Vibrant life, you were 35. I could change things, I will save your life. Don't close your eyes, hold it tight. Mama, don't die.
In nightmares I'm screaming, where are you? I need you here with me. I'm only 5 years old, how can I go back to sleep here all alone? How can a heart be without his first love? I know your heart breaks, but I'm okay. I know your heart breaks, but I'm okay. In nightmares I'm screaming, where are you? I need you here with me.
That is Nightmares, a single by Mikey Romero and DeAngelo Singh. Guys, this is your story. What's it been like for you? Well, first of all, that was incredible.
No, thank you.
I really, somebody that is a survivor, and I didn't go through all the things that you guys went through. It was a different story, but it touched me deeply. Touched me deeply. And there's a line that you say, how can a heart beat without its first love? Your mama.
No, yeah, I mean, that's what pretty much who you fall in love with. Obviously, either your parents, and you see, open your eyes, and that's who the first person you see, So that's why I came up with that line because she pretty much is your first love, Before, obviously, before you get older and know God too as well, and then He becomes your main love,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was one of the lines I came up with because it hit deep with that.
Yeah. And DeAngelo, the part where you come in and you're like, Mama, what did you say? Mama, don't die.
Yeah, Mama, don't die. It's something that I just kind of, like Michael did the original song, and then I said, hey, let me do, let's do a remix, and we got together, and it was just basically something that if I was there, I would say that to her in the ambulance as she was by herself in a paramedic, with the paramedics trying to save her life. That would have told her, Mom, hold on, don't die. That's what I would have told her. But I didn't get to say nothing to her, and it was, we got an argument on Saturday, Sunday, didn't speak, and that's how it ended.
And, DeAngelo, you were able to kind of complete that moment with your mama, weren't you?
Yes, when I did the song, I heard it for the first time. I was like, man, it was like I was honored to do that, to be able to. It just went more than we thought it would, the idea, and I was grateful that my brother was open-minded to do it because his original song is amazing, just by itself.
Wow.
But jumping on there really got me.
Yeah, it was incredible, you guys. So incredible. And I know our listeners are going, wow. So, Mikey, one of the areas that, you tell me, in the area of nightmares, is that sometimes, is that still something that's present for you?
Yeah, sometimes it is. Sometimes you get, because, I think in general, trauma still kind of lingers sometimes,
Yeah.
And obviously the devil tries to throw whatever you can, your past and all that, to you, and then you start remembering things, and then, but in reality, I do struggle sometimes still with the thought of it,
Yeah.
and I still struggle with nightmares as well.
Yeah, there's a way to shrink that trauma.
Yeah.
And so here's what I'm present to right now. Like, I am going to just gift you a total breakthrough. One of the things I do as a master practitioner in neurolinguistic programming, timeline therapy and hypnosis, and really God utilizing me, is we get to shrink that trauma. We get to put the past in the past where it belongs so that you can begin to create the life you desire. So I just want you to know that I've got your back.
Thank you. I
Kim,
appreciate that.
also really quickly jumping on my little brother's back on this is that's pretty common in children that witness trauma. Will have either nightmares, wetting their bed, and I say that's happened to him, but he was made into nightmares. So it does happen to children that are exposed to any type of trauma, especially domestic violence.
Yes.
And the effects of it, not just watching it, they say it's worse hearing it and not seeing it. It's because you're imagining what's happening and you can't see it, and you just hear screaming, hitting, breaking dishes.
Yeah.
So that's even more. It's more impact. So definitely that's why, like I said, the trauma.
Yeah.
And every child's different.
Yeah. And so if somebody right now, let's just say, we're going to go to a commercial break in just a second, then we're going to come back. But if somebody right now, our listeners, are in like any kind of domestic violence, anything like that, where they're experiencing verbal, physical, or emotional abuse, and there are kids involved, what would your words be to them right now? DeAngelo.
I would say definitely. I know it's difficult to leave a relationship, but you need to leave with those children, because if you don't, who knows what type of impact you're making with that. By keeping them involved, it's like a war zone in that home, and screaming and crying and yelling. But if you don't, there's also the law can step in and could take your children away from you if you, as a parent, don't make a decision, the right decision for your children to get them out of that situation.
And that was key for me when I heard that my children were going to be taken from me because I had them in a home of violence, even though my kids didn't see anything, right? So that was when because I was surrounded by community. Guys, what DeAngelo was saying and Mikey is saying is so important. Community, the family, being surrounded by people who are going to hold your arms up and support you on this journey. That is key, so that you can make it through to the other side. There is another side.
Yeah, there's shelters out there. There's a lot of help out there. There's National Domestic Violence, phone line. There's a lot more help than there was when my mom was struggling with that.
Mikey, you didn't stay in the nightmares. You didn't stay in the trauma. There's still this process of healing that's occurring, and this is part of the process. But you've got something to share along the lines of your faith, your family, and just mindset and how you're navigating through this.
No, I just, whenever, like I said before earlier, when I wrote to my dad, that freed me a lot, because it freed me to forgive other people that would hurt me later on in life easier, So when I did that, I gave my life to Jesus, completely, and it freed me from all that. It freed me from all the nightmares. It freed me from all the pain. It freed me from all the unforgiveness, everything. Because I was carrying it around, it was a burden. And once I let that go, I felt free.
Do you remember the moment?
I remember it was probably, I would say maybe 10 years ago, when I actually wrote to him. So that was a big part of it, because I didn't want to do it. Sometimes you don't want to do things
Yeah.
that God
Yeah.
wants you to do, but when you do it, then you realize why He did that.
Yeah, and I bet our audience is curious. Did he write back?
Yeah, He did.
And what was that?
He wrote back. I didn't expect him to say, forgive me for everything. I think he thought in his mind it was still an accident.
Yeah.
But we all know it wasn't an accident. But at the same time, I didn't really want him to say forgive me, but it was more I want him to know that I forgive you because of God.
Yeah, come on.
Because Jesus forgave me.
That's right.
So, and that's why I wanted him to resonate that in his mind to know that there's still hope for him.
Yeah.
Wow.
He still can be forgiven as well,
That's right.
So, I mean,
Wow, guys, it's never too far. You're never too far, God. None of us are, to be forgiven and to be given that second chance. Sometimes it's that third chance and that fourth chance. DeAngelo, let's talk a little bit about mindset.
Yeah, mindset. I mean, and my mindset at the time. I mean, all this that happened did create a very negative mindset in me because I was very angry. I struggled with anger a lot. I struggled with bitterness and disappointment. So I had a really bad mindset, a negative mindset as well. And so, but I think that it's really important that we fix that and work on our mindset, how we think, because our thinking is what shapes our life and our future. And so that was something that that I had to work on, and it was difficult. I did forgive my father as well, so that was tough as well. And so that helped me. Remember, forgiveness is not about that person. It's about you being able to move on.
Yeah, and this is important because when we are in unforgiveness,
Right.
it's like we're the one eating the poison.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right?
Yeah,
It's
you're
like-
the slave to that person.
Yeah.
Definitely, because you're just thinking about that person, but that person could be eating hamburgers somewhere and tacos, and you're over here. I hate this person,
Right.
So you're actually the slave to that.
So we get to actually really
Yeah.
experience freedom. Okay, so guys, couple things. One, where can people hear your new single? Where can they hear your new single? And how can they reach you, Mikey?
well, first of all, they can reach me through either Instagram. It's Mikey Singh SINGH 84. And then or through Facebook as well, but also too they can search for the music on Spotify or iTunes.
All right, Mikey Romero, Spotify, iTunes, right? It's called Nightmares.
So but the one right now we just heard is not going to come out till probably 3 weeks to 4 weeks from now.
All right, but they can find the others
But they can
there.
find the original
Okay, good.
Nightmares on there.
Okay, excellent. And DeAngelo, how can they reach you?
Yeah, they can just email me at deangelo.sing46@gmail.com, and you can reach me there, and definitely will reply back to you.
Excellent. And our call to action today, if it's one word, give me the word.
Is just don't let fear overcome your life.
Yep, and stay free and stay positive in your mind and healthiness.
You got it, you
important.
guys. This has been an incredible foundation segment at the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show. I'm your host, Peak Performance Coach Kim Yeater. DeAngelo,
thank
Mikey, what an absolute honor. And for my
Well, thank you.
audience today, we're going to see you in 3 weeks from now for our holiday segment, and it's going to be powerful. Take the learnings today, take them to heart. Go love and go forgive. Love and forgive. This is your life. Create that solid foundation with your faith, with your family, and in your fitness, your mindset, your mind, body, soul. Love up on the creation that you are. We love you. Happy
you, everybody.
Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Blessings, blessings.
Everybody, stay safe.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon.
We are live on KCAA Broadcasting Network, 10:50 a.m., following broadcasts in 102.3 FM and 106.5 FM. We are serving over 5 million households in the Inland Empire, North County, San Diego, Orange County, and San Gabriel Valley. We are serving the world one household at a time. We are also in iHeart, Spotify, Tiki Live, Ustream, Apple, iTunes, and anywhere with your favorite podcast. KCAA is affiliated with CNBC, NBC News, and NBC Sports. We are sponsored by Sheltered Studios, Fire Up Connect, and Kim Yeater Peak Performance Coaching.